What's up, Nerfers? In today's video, I'll be taking a look at some innovative new products sent to me thanks to Ezekiel at JSPB in Taiwan. Before I get started though, I want to give you some backstory of my own and how JSPB actually introduced me to the Nerf hobby in the first place. Back in December of 2016, I stumbled upon Jangula's video on the JSPB Pro 2. That was a hand-pumped air blaster that shot around 130 to 150 feet per second, depending on how many times you pumped it. It's this video that got me interested in finding a group to play at. I discovered there was a local Adelaide Nerf club. I got myself that JSPB Pro 2 and headed out to my first ever Nerf event. JSPB back in 2010 were the first to design a SCAR barrel, although back then they called it an ARB, and they included one of these with the JSPB Pro 2. Introducing rifling to the mainstream Nerfer. Armed with this new innovation and Worker Gen 1 half-length darts at the time, I had a clear advantage in accuracy over the other players at the events. Everyone else was still using full lengths and predominantly flywheel blasters at the time. I went on to make videos showing the accuracy advantages of half-length darts and SCAR barrels, and that was because pretty much every other Nerf group around the world at the time didn't even allow half-length darts. Oh, how times have changed. What JSPB have sent me this week shares a similar theme to that original Pro 2 that I purchased. This is the new Tengu Muzzle. It's not a SCAR barrel, nor is it really even a form of rifling. Instead, the inside of this is shaped in such a way that it directs the muzzle blast of air behind the dart to cause it to spin. There's a series of vents on the side of the device to allow it to achieve this. And while it was originally designed for air blasters to help prevent dart decapitations from the burst pressure, I've decided to try it on a Springer with a gargantuan air volume to see whether it even works on a Springer in the first place. So naturally, I'll be trying it with the brand new Sabre Apex Prime. By the way, I've now added an M4 buffer tube stock to it since my last videos, making it a little longer, which better suits my reach while also increasing comfort with that rubber back padding. I also made a spring rest for it by slotting 1/2-inch PVC pipe inside of the buffer tube. Anyway, back to the Tengu. The Tengu suits a standard 16mm outer diameter Nerf barrel, and it has 2 screws you tighten to clamp it down. Though, even without them done up, it's equally as snug as worker rifling, for example, so you can just use a friction fit. JSPB sent me 2 of these. This shinier looking one is printed in PLA+, which is smoother overall, and this more matte looking one is made of nylon, which has more of a rough surface finish. I'll be testing both of these because the difference in surface could change the results after all. Ezekiel also sent me one more very interesting thing to test. This is the half-length grilled dart maker. You place a dart inside of it and use a propane torch to burn rifling into the dart foam itself. In theory, doing away with the need for barrel rifling entirely. If this concept works, JSPB may have just killed their own invention, the SCAR barrel. But there is one major problem currently holding these back. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the burned-in rifling to have any form of consistency to it. Some were deeper than others, some were wider or thinner than others. I think this method is highly prone to human error. After messaging JSPB about it, I've decided to just test whether grilled darts spin at all on their own, fired from a smoothbore barrel. Because if they do spin on their own without any rifling needed, it would definitely be worth looking into more consistent ways of making them. For the accuracy testing, I'll first get a baseline reading with no rifling attached using standard darts. Then I'll see whether the grilled darts spin on their own from that smoothbore barrel. And finally, I'll test the accuracy of the 2 Tengu muzzles with both a long optimized barrel and a shorter barrel, which will have more muzzle blast behind it. Beginning with nothing attached and standard darts, results at the very end. We're 30 meters away from the target, or 98 feet. The target itself is 1 meter across. Hit. Low, but a hit. 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 Some of these actually go quite nice and central. Hit. 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 That's all 15. Alright, now for the rifle darts. I just want to see if these actually spin on their own without a rifled barrel. I have not burned them consistently, so I don't expect any form of accuracy. That spiraled way up high and hit the white sign above the target. I think that was a hit. Hit. They definitely spiral. As I said, no form of accuracy there. Low, and that one was definitely spiraling. That was spiraling very quick. So was that one, but it did go to the right. Hit. Hit. That one, like, it came out of the barrel wobbly, but then it stabilized itself. Hit. That one was definitely spiraling. Actually, I think they all have been. In their own unique way. That one was on the bullseye. Low. We're still spiraling though. Low. But it was also spiraling. Hit. And that's all 15. Although I wasn't able to burn them consistently, I think if there was a way that you could, maybe a machine burning it or something, these definitely seem to work. They were definitely spinning in the air. Could be a viable way of getting rid of the need for rifling entirely. So now I'm going to try the PLA Plus Tengu, and I'll give it a bit of a tighten onto the barrel with the 4 screws. Swapping to a fresh mag. Let's see how the PLA Plus Tengu does. Bit left. That was a hit. It was spiraling. I don't know if it was enough spiraling. Hit. I think this might even be worse than not having any rifling at all. Hit. Yeah, that's like a 1 meter spread. That one missed entirely. Hit. Over the top, to the right. Hit. 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 They're not stable in flight. Hit. That's all 15. Swap to the nylon one. Then I might actually try a shorter barrel just to give it a bit more muzzle blast, since it is powered by air. Okay, nylon Tengu, fresh mag. Let's see if it does better than the PLA Plus one did. Yeah, this one's doing worse. Hit. Hit. Miss. Hit. 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 Miss. It's definitely having an effect on them. You can see them spiraling in the air. I just don't think it's putting enough spin on them. And that one went over the top. Still got one more left, actually. Hit. Alright, I'm going to swap to the short barrel, give it a bit more of an air burst coming out of the end of the muzzle, which is what this actually needs to function properly. Okay, I've got the shorter barrel on now. This will have a lot more air coming out the end of the muzzle as excess muzzle blast, so it should be enough to power this device. I've got the nylon one on first, and then I'll do the PLA Plus one last. Hit. 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 I Just slightly missed. Hit. Hit. Just slightly missed. Hit. Hit. Missed to the right. And that was all 15 shots. Alright, let's swap to the PLA Plus one. This definitely shot a lot better than with the longer barrel. Hit. 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 You can see they're definitely less stable in the air. Hit. Hit. Over the top. Hit. 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 That's all 15. Okay, first up I took a baseline reading with no rifling and standard darts, shown in red. This was actually far better than I was expecting, shooting a 60 centimeter spread. That's better than most blasters with rifling, and simply goes to show how optimized the Sabre Apex Prime is with its 580mm barrel. Next up, in blue, I wanted to see whether grilled darts would spin on their own fired from the same smoothbore barrel, and watching some of that slow motion replay, they definitely did. Every single one of them spun in its own unique way, and while accuracy definitely was worse than standard darts, that's not what I was testing here. In fact, I thought the spread would be even worse than this, considering how botched of a job I did burning the rifling into the foam. After observing them spin, I definitely want to see JSPB invest more time into making grilled darts more consistently than just burning them by hand. After testing the grilled darts, shown in green, I tested the PLA Plus Tengu. It shot a 75cm tall and 1 meter wide spread, meaning this actually made the darts perform worse than not having it attached. I suspect there just wasn't enough air blast coming out of the barrel, and if the insane accuracy of no rifling is anything to go by, there is very likely no air left to come out of the barrel at that point. So the Tengu acts more like an obstacle that the dart may hit and bounce around inside of on the way out. The nylon Tengu shown in yellow was even worse than that, with a 1.5 meter diagonal spread. Nylon being a rougher surface, if the darts were impacting inside of it, that would explain them being thrown off course even more so. Unsurprisingly, the air-powered Tengu rifling doesn't work when there isn't enough air left for it. But how about with a shorter barrel and greater muzzle blast? With the long barrel swapped out for a shorter 300mm one, which is way too short for the Saber Apex Prime, the nylon Tengu in purple shot a much better spread 70cm tall and 40cm wide. That excess muzzle blast from the shorter barrel allowed it to actually work properly, and that spread was even 20cm narrower than having no rifling, although it was 10cm taller. Overall though, it is a better shaped spread to have when you remember that humans are generally taller than they are wide. Finally, the PLA Plus Tengu on the short barrel. That shot a 90cm tall by 65cm wide spread, which was worse than the nylon one and worse than no rifling, but it was a night and day difference compared to using it on the long barrel. So both Tengus definitely improved with the shorter barrel having more muzzle blast behind it. If you haven't seen my other videos with the Saber Apex Prime though, this is how it usually shoots with its long barrel and bearing scar. It's actually the most accurate blaster I've ever used, achieving a 25cm spread at 30 meters. When you take a look at how the Apex Prime usually shoots with a SCAR or BCAR on the short 300mm barrel, the results with the Tengu on that were incredibly similar. Where a SCAR or BCAR performs worse the more muzzle blast you have, the Tengu performs better the more air you give it. So in this case, the nylon Tengu performed just as well as a SCAR or BCAR, which is quite impressive considering it uses the air itself rather than any rifling. Overall, I have to conclude that the Tengu can indeed work on a Springer, assuming you give it enough muzzle blast to power it. Also, I'm sure the Tengu works even better on an air-powered blaster like the ones JSPB sell. In future, if they design one to suit the Mil-Sig's threaded AF Pro barrel, I would definitely like to test one on high pressure air. But I think this video already shows that the Tengu not only works, but it can match a SCAR or BCAR when you have high amounts of muzzle blast. And that's ignoring the main benefit of the Tengu that JSPB states on their product page. The idea that it's gentler on your darts, resulting in less decapitations. I think if you're using an air blaster, whether that's HPA, LPA or manual pump, you should definitely give the Tengu a try. As for the grilled darts or rifled darts, they looked very promising. If JSPB can find a way to either mass produce and sell the darts already made, or find a way that users can consistently get a symmetrical result themselves, I think the spin effect could challenge the very idea of nerf rifling that JSPB first invented and that we all use today. I hope you've enjoyed watching my testing, and I highly recommend checking out JSPB at the links down below. You should definitely, at the very least, follow them on their socials so you can stay up to date with their latest innovations. They're definitely one of the companies to watch out for when it comes to new tech. That's all I have for you today. Consider giving the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down to let me know what you thought of it. Here's 2 other videos that you might enjoy. And as always, thank you very much for watching. See ya.